Hey guys, this is Zach. I'm doing a video response to someone who's been messaging me on my ZakMartinKilgour Facebook page personally. So you won't be able to go to that page to see the comments he's making because they're in a personal message. But I'm just going to go over them briefly just to give the background, and then I'm going to do this final response to this guy who is being extremely rude, disrespectful, hateful, and not coming from a place of any sense of reasoned-based thinking, which, I hate to say it, is a product of any kind of dogmatic stance. So you see this in any topic when someone becomes dogmatic about it. You can be dogmatic about food, as we see in certain groups, vegan or omnivore. There can be dogmatism in various paths. You can find it in spirituality for sure. You can find it in religion, and you can find it in politics. So, there's also obviously other topics as well. I'll just read the first message I got randomly out of the blue from this guy. Dude, you are a hateful, all in caps, that word, a bigot as I've come across on Facebook. I'm glad you don't hate Jews as much as you obviously hate Christians. You'd probably reignite the gas chambers, exclamation mark. You are one sick, all in caps. Dude, man. So I, at this point, thought perhaps this was a response to a single post I posted on my page earlier that day, yesterday, and it was a link to a video about, a very short video about a guy, and I added my own words before the link saying something like, let's actually go to it here so I get it right. Just gotta open up another thing. There's a video about Ra, or Re from Egyptian religion. You can always go to the page to check this out. And above it, I said, how do you pronounce the name of the God that most Christians worship without even knowing it? And that, the whole idea around that was that in Catholicism and all forms of Christianity, generally they end their prayers with Amen. And you can trace the roots of that to Amun, or Amun Ra, Amun Re, however you wish to pronounce that. So that was just the comment there that was about. The extremely hateful, bigoted comment that I was making, which is simply based on one historical theory. And the video itself really was pretty tame, but of course anyone who has their high and mighty feelings about their personal beliefs is going to be offended when someone talks about it in a way that counters those beliefs, hence the knee-jerk reaction you get. So my response to you was 2 paragraphs basically saying, excuse me, I need you to be respectful first of all if you want to discuss this. If you're going to criticize me, have constructive criticism, give me exact examples, and your attitude isn't productive, simply leads to conflict, and if you continue with that kind of tone, you're going to be blocked. Give me specific examples of where I'm being bigoted, because I didn't even know if it was that one post. I just thought in my mind maybe that was the one thing that you were referring to. You were saying something about other posts, so perhaps you also meant on my Facebook profile, which you're not a friend of mine, so I'm not sure how you saw that, unless perhaps you're a friend of a friend and you can see my page. I'm not exactly sure what my security settings are there. But I also posted something about gay marriage, and you actually referenced that, so I guess you can see that in some way. The gay marriage thing is something that's been a hot topic lately, so there's nothing bigoted or hateful about posting that. It's just disagreeing with one camp, having a logical explanation for it, and yeah, I had a bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing about that. I'll actually go to the post and I'll read what I said. Because, in my view, religion should never encroach on secular society. I'm not an atheist. I've got my own beliefs. I don't throw them out there in people's faces. Various religions do this. I think it's sad. It's totally up to them to live their religious beliefs, and I totally support that, and I can definitely recognize certain qualities in different religions that I'd call noble and beneficial for people to follow. But my comment was in quotations, "Finish him," Mortal Kombat announcer voice. So this is just my sense of humor coming in, and then freedom of logic executes one-hit KO on Christian fundamentalism. So it's, in my view, a what would you call it? No, it's not sarcasm, but it's a comment creating this idea of actual fight between the powers of logic and reason that should be the foundation of society, and then you have religion, which is trying to oppress and push their ideas onto secular society with things like banning gay marriage, something that in reality has no effect on someone who chooses to get married in a heterosexual context. Without getting into that topic, I'll definitely make a video about that since it's such an active topic right now. Yeah, we live in a secular society. There's no argument beyond that. It shouldn't be encroached upon by religious fundamentalism. And the reason I said Christian fundamentalism is because there are non-Christian fundamentalist groups who aren't like that. But show me a Christian fundamentalist church or organization that isn't isn't homophobic or isn't anti-gay marriage. There aren't any as far as I know, and if there are, well, they obviously know this comment isn't about them. There was nothing hateful about the comment. There's nothing bigoted about my comment. Those are terms that can be used to describe the people that actually would fall into the category of people who are anti-gay marriage, as we see all the time in that kind of propaganda that's put out by them. The actual post that I had that attached to was 10 reasons against gay marriage, but they were sarcastic things like being gay is not natural, real Americans always rejecting unnatural things like eyeglasses, polyester, and air conditioning. So it was an image of 10 points that were common arguments against gay marriage, but kind of twisting it and showing how silly those arguments are. So the whole idea behind the header I'd put on that with the one-hit KO comment, my own sarcastic comment, was that this is a really good argument, and there's nothing really you can say in response to this image of these 10 points. So again, you haven't shown me where and specifically why and how I'm being hateful or bigoted, Les. So I'd ask you to step up to the plate, quit this rude, libelous, no, not libelous, it's not public, so. But basically, your whole attitude, you've kind of shifted it as I've called you out on it in 2 or 3 messages, and you're actually starting to apologize for the fact that you were saying that I'd reignite the gas chambers if I could. That is, well, first of all, you did say that. That's pure ridiculousness. Where have I ever said anything anti-Semitic? Let's glance through this. This is your second message to me after the first one with me calling you out and asking you to step up and provide some evidence. Just finished studying some of the previous interactions with others on YouTube. On what videos? If you're going to say that, you have to give references. This is something that people don't get. You want to actually engage in a debate, you have to give specific examples and discuss something. First, you point out a pile of unsolicited and unvarnished hatred, all in caps, upon Christianity. Reference, please. That's your pathology, all in caps again. You just can't help yourself. Okay, well, again, I need to see an example of this, and I can tell you where I was coming from on that post, or how you're wrong on that being what it is you're seeing it as. Or if I'm genuinely wrong in my ways and overreacted or something, or on that day happened to be coming from a place that was not, was of ego, I could definitely apologize for that. But when you don't give a fucking example, you're just bending down to that level of being a bigot yourself. Then someone who dares to challenge your bigotry, you act all outraged and shocked. I mean shocked, all in caps. Yeah, I am fucking shocked because you're being a rude asshole and sending me hateful personal messages. That anyone would accuse little old you of being what you are, which is a hate-mongering bigot. Again, nothing to back up your spurious claims, and you always say the exact same thing. Again, no references. If you say one more disrespectful thing, you'll be blocked. Lol, all in caps. Yes, he was quoting me. Yeah, I don't have time to waste on you people, but I'm making an example of you because you're being the prime epitome of intellectual vacuity. The problem you have here is that your reversal games don't work on me. Just calling you out on your inability to discuss things in a normal manner, yeah, that's sure a reversal. Because you actually weren't calling me out on anything with evidence, but I'm asking you for your evidence. So the weight of the need to provide evidence is on the ones making the claims, which is you. Then you say, sorry little weenie, you're just not smart enough to play with the big boys. Here's your ego trying to act all high and mighty. I've already reported 2 of your Facebook sites directly to Facebook. They were properly flagged as hate sites, and I expect them to ban you for inciting hatred against a particular religion. It's not going to happen unless they actually see evidence of that, of which there is none. If there was, show me where it is, and it might help me out because I'd have to take it down so that they don't actually ban my sites for being hate sites. They're going to look at it and see stuff that isn't hateful in the slightest. I cited numerous examples of brazen bigotry on your Facebook wall, all specifically targeting Christians. They have all the documentation. Sorry, it's too late to delete those points now. I'm content to let them decide your fate. You want to argue sound reasoning, do it with Facebook. What's clear to me is that you're just some harmless little prick. Yep, those personal attacks really make your argument that much more powerful. That's generally what people do when they are unable to actually back up their stance with sound reasoning. Because when you have facts and examples, your stance just works its own power. You don't need to put in these emotional knee-jerk reactions, which is really just a reflection of your small self-concept and inability to think things through in a normal, progressive manner. You're a horrible spokesperson for natural living, the raw food experience, or anything healthy. So maybe this is where your true colors come through. You're someone with a bit of hate towards me because I espouse things you don't agree with in the health realm. And so you also happen to be of a specific religion, perhaps. I think you said something later about being Jewish and converting to what do you call it? New Christianity, born again. That's fine, but don't use it as leverage and hide behind that and try and call me a bigot just because I happen to no longer be a raw vegan. Is it any wonder that the rest of the raw food world shuns you like a 5-day-old Big Mac? What a weird comment, but I really couldn't give a damn what the raw food world thinks of me. If people want to focus on science, the facts, they can come to my channel. If they want to be lost in the ridiculousness of some of the raw food leaders teaching out there, that's fine. I've always been open and recommending people follow certain paths of raw foodism when it's done properly, if they're drawn to that. And there's definitely elements that I still follow from that. There's nothing that I've ever said that's outright saying every single facet of raw food is wrong and should not be followed. ZakMartinKilgour, the poster child for toxic weeniness. Like, even your insults are terrible. Like, you sound like a little 3-year-old or 3rd grader. Like, I don't think I've heard that since, like, Yeah, grade 3. I sent another response after that. Oh God, I have so much tolerance for such hateful people. But yeah, I was basically saying again, provide the references, back up your stance, give some proof and examples of me being a hateful bigot. Quote me, send it to me, Les. Step up to the fucking plate, which you have been unable to do, and show me where I've been a hateful bigot. I have, as far as I can see, maybe this is delusions of grandeur, but I have been extremely careful in my online interactions to, I've refined it over the years, so in the past there's definitely probably examples of me being brazen and out to lunch when it comes to the way I conducted myself in an online discussion. But over time, I've really refined my ability to stick to the facts, stay out of the personal attacks. If you sense any degree of personal attack in this, it's because I'm reflecting your inconsiderate nature back at you. Your, quite frankly, disgusting display of bad verbal usage and insulting what I'd call bigotry. That's actually the definition of bigotry. You should actually look those words up in the dictionary. Bigot and what's the other one they're using? Hateful. Yeah, look up the word hate, because I don't think you even understand what the word hate means. And then your final message is just, again, I'm not going to read it because it's so long here, but he sent this recently, calling me anti-Semitic. And in saying I only focus on Christians, that's, again, you haven't been following me. I've posted stuff in the recent past about the problem in England with very fundamentalist Muslims pushing for Sharia law and protests, like really frightening stuff where they're chanting for police to all be killed. Yeah, I'm definitely intolerant of something, and it's fundamentalist attitudes that impinge on other people's rights in a secular society. That's not hate. That's fucking logic. That's common sense. That's standing for freedom in our society, Les. Get it through your mind. Drop the hate yourself, because it's dripping and oozing out of your personal attacks against me. You're probably a wonderful person. I'd probably get along with you. But online, people tend to say things without considering that there's someone on the other side of that email or that screen that, has feelings. And I'm very tender when it comes to my interactions. I might come across as very cold and harsh, but everything someone says to me that is based on a personal attack, I don't, yes, it hurts in a sense of it being mean, I let it roll off me, but you might be good at taking a punch, but you're still taking a punch. That's why I block people who are like that, because I don't need to hear any more of that. It's a waste of my time, it's a waste of my energy. So yeah, you're going to get this, but I'm not interested in hearing any more of you. You might comment on this video, but I'd like to see a video response from you. See your face. See if you can say those things to me with your face on video, and actually provide the references. If you want to actually completely do a 180 and give some examples and come at me with a bit more of a heart-centered connection, I'm open to that, even at this point. But yeah, step up to the plate. See if you can actually use your frontal lobe. So, if not, fuck off.